A warm hello and welcome to our ever-increasing family of viewers. Thank you so much for your love and likes. Before we begin our today's talk show, I have a question for you. Please mention in the comment section the most inspiring person in your life. I'm Anushree, your host, and on behalf of Silver Zone Foundation and Worldwide Scholarly Alliance, I'm here in the gracious presence of Miss Anubha Srivastava, Principal, Delhi International School Edge, Dwarka. Ma'am has an amazing career of nearly 30 years now as an academician, and under her guidance and leadership, her schools, all the places that she's worked in, has received a lot of recognition and accolades. Today, we are going to be sharing an inspiring story which will not only tell you the sea change in education that ma'am has brought, but also let you know education is something that needs a lot of hard work and dedication. Very warm welcome, ma'am. Thank you so much for your time and for sharing your story in your own words with us.
Namaskar to all the viewers who are here, and thank you so much for inviting me over for this conversation, which I think is going to be from the core of my heart.
I believe so too, ma'am. Before we begin, dear audience, I would want to share with you, the moment I entered your school, the atrium, the premise and your office, I felt certainly centered and very calm. यहाँ का कुछ औरा ही अलग है. Ma'am, I really want to know what is this magic happening here?
I think there's a lot to do with the Vastu structure of the building and the DISH happiness philosophy that we follow here. I have felt it since the day I have entered in the campus. And initially when I absorbed the positivity and the calmness in the campus, I thought it is just my perception, which was grounded time and again by many people walking in and telling me the same thing. Our building is a Vastu compliant building, which is the belief and the brainchild of the founders and the promoters of the school.
Oh, okay.
They very strongly believe in Vastu and the Indian ethical practices. And I also personally believe that these practices are very scientific. They're based on the physical science principles.
Really? I mean, from what I also believe, Vastu is an old belief system, or, I mean, does it have roots in science for real?
If you have not read, do read a book, Fluid, by Ashish Jaiswal. And he has picked up little anecdotes from different people, from different principles that are quoted in the Indian Vedic system, that are quoted in maybe different philosophies across the world. And he has dwelled into the practical and scientific aspects of it. I'll just take one example for Vastu. Let us say we do not have a basement in the school.
That's really surprising.
And in Vastu, basements are considered negative because whatever is underground is devoid of sunlight. If you talk of biological system, whatever is underground is the dwelling place for the decomposers.
Yeah.
And they convert the thing back to mud to complete that natural organic cycle.
I never thought along those lines.
Yeah. So whatever is underground is not getting sunlight.
Yeah.
Just one example to tell you. So you talk of the directions. The directions are having geomagnetic orientations.
Yeah.
That is one reason why the school is having a lot of positive energy around it. A lot of positive energy also stems from the very fact that our school's philosophy, which is reflecting in our school logo, we can see the school logo here, which is a banyan tree, is structured around banyan tree, having very deep roots with a vast expanse, and it is a home for so many plants, animals. It is a source of nutrition for many. It talks about longevity. It talks about deep-rootedness of language and the kind of expanse that deep roots can provide to the stability, longevity and growth of an individual. Most of my biology classes were outside the classroom.
Is that possible? क्योंकि textbook तो चाहिए होती है ना?
Textbook is a reference book.
Okay.
Textbook is just telling you this is the contents that you need to understand.
ठीक है.
But what stays in the memory is what you have done with your hands.
Could you give an example, ma'am?
So हम लोग population counting करते थे. एक option होता है कि मैं एक A4 sheet में I give them those icons printed and they do the counting there.
Yeah.
Another option is I take them to a structured garden which I have created for it.
Okay.
And the third option is we go out, I divide them into 4 batches. I say decide your patches and do your counting there and come and tell me and let us see what is the difference.
Wow, so it's more experiential and I think if they come back to the book, they'll understand better now because वो उसको already practically कर चुके हैं. Is that so?
Exactly. And they also have this in their 12th standard. I have been taking majorly senior classes.
Okay.
So they have to do investigatory projects. I have never accepted a theoretical or a Google-based investigatory project. I made them do in the labs. I took them to labs in Delhi University, Pusa Institute, divided them in batches. जो सीख के आ रहे हो वहाँ पे whatever your professor is telling you, whatever you have seen, I need actual pictures. Do it, understand it, find the problem statement around it, relate it to where you can implement it in real life.
And children are okay with it? They're okay with this dynamic way of teaching?
Who wants to sit with the books and study?
Yes, absolutely correct.
They don't want to.
Yeah.
So, and I would give them very funny examples. We were studying antioxidants.
Okay.
And I told them how antioxidants are responsible for aging. So if you want to stay young and if you want your skin glowing and beautiful, what is it required? So we understood the biology of aging. So rather than directly studying the chemistry part of antibiotics, antioxidants, you study the application part of antioxidants. Tell me one boy or a girl in their teenage and adolescent stage who would not want to have a glowing skin.
Absolutely. So you're not only relating it to real life, but their current life, to their current age and stage. Ma'am, I'm very curious to know, you mentioned that you were on the way to Germany, you had a scholarship in your hand. Then what happened? Why didn't you pursue that line of action?
My then guide, MSc guide, Professor Pant, he offered me a full paid scholarship to Germany.
Wow.
So he talked about it, I talked to my parents, and my mother was not very comfortable sending a girl all alone to Germany. So she said, why don't you get married and you can go wherever your in-laws are sending you. And the way the girls are, there was a rebellion and there was, why should we have this gender divide and all? Yes. And before the rebellion could take over, I got married. I cleared the NET exam from Pusa Institute. So the ICAR NET examination.
Okay.
And then I joined NSIT also in between. I was working on plant cancer molecular biology in the NSIT lab. So I got lucrative offers. During the period of my maternity and when my son was born, I had briefly taken up school teaching. After that, I joined NSIT as a researcher and a lecturer there.
Mm-hmm.
And possibly the school pulled me back. I could not find that passion in the labs, in the scientific research that I found in the school. So within a year's time, I came back to school systems.
Ma'am, I want to know from you, at what age did you begin teaching? Informally, formally?
Informally, I started teaching while I was in masters.
Okay.
We were getting a scholarship examination in masters. So if you qualify the scholarship exam, to avail the scholarship, you also have to give the teaching credits.
So I believe in that age you would be teaching undergrads, or graduates maybe?
The entire spectrum. The undergrads, the postgraduates, and I also had PhD students
under you.
Theory and the practical classes for them.
Oh wow.
We had agricultural students doing minors in plant physiology, which was my majors.
So you would be guiding the PhD scholars as well.
So I would be like you had professors who would be the lead teachers.
Absolutely.
And then we would be assisting the professors. We would take 1 or 2 theory classes that they would give us. They would assign the classes to us in the week, and we'll be taking those specific classes which were our strong suits in the masters.
And I'm sure this was a fulfilling and wholesome experience.
Oh, that was quite challenging.
Challenging?
That was quite challenging because there's a hierarchy in Pantnagar. वहाँ पे एक बहुत ही इंटरेस्टिंग सिस्टम है.
Okay.
आपसे जितने ईयर सीनियर है ना, आपको उतने परम लगा के बात करनी है.
Oh, okay.
So 1 year senior is आदरणीय. आदरणीय अनुश्री जी.
अच्छा.
If you are 2 years senior to me, परम आदरणीय. 3
Okay.
years परम आदरणीय.
Okay.
So you were teaching your परम आदरणीय.
Oh, nice.
So there were so many barriers. You cannot be demanding at the same time to your guide, to your mentor, to your reportee professor. You have to do your work on time. फिर grading भी करनी है, assessment भी करना है. So there were their own set of challenges in it.
Let's come to that, ma'am. A biotechnologist turned leader. I mean, you were a teacher, then you became a principal, educator, now you're edu leader. So, how did this journey happen? And right now where you are, how fulfilled or satisfied do you feel?
I believe destiny has its own way to pull you in the direction where you are supposed to be. And it takes you to what the forces has planned you to place you wherever you are. If I look back and see, I planned myself seeing as a professor or a scientist in some institute.
Okay.
The friends around me, they were 100% sure I would either be becoming a scientist or a professor in some institute.
Okay. So
nobody ever thought, even in MSc, nobody ever thought that I'll go to school. School was a brief filler for me because my children were young and I wanted to give them time. And after that, when I joined back college, I could not forget school and I came back to school.
So it was the universe playing coercing you, convincing you to go back to school. Is that so?
Exactly. And the school also happened in a very interesting manner. I was taking my father-in-law for an eye checkup.
Okay.
And there was a vacancy in Chinmaya Vidyalaya Vasant Vihar.
Okay.
My husband is a first batch Chinmaya Vidyalaya product from Chinmaya Bokaro.
Okay. Okay.
He said, why don't you put your application there? Because he is a very strong Chinmaya person at heart.
Okay.
I just dropped my resume at the gate. I didn't even enter the school premises. And I was boarding the car. The guard called me back that the principal wants to meet you.
Okay.
And I was called inside.
Immediately that happened?
Immediately that happened.
Okay.
And I was not planning to join school at all that time. Ma'am called me inside, ma'am interacted with me and she requested me to come for the final panel interview. In the final panel interview, the candidates along with me were PhD candidates from institutes like IIT Delhi, Delhi University, very strong in biotechnology, and the position was for biotechnology teacher. And as the stars would have decided, I got it.
Wow.
And everyone asked me to join it. I joined.
Joined as?
I joined as PGT Biotechnology.
Okay.
The head of the department that time was Mrs. Ramani Sashranand, a very passionate biology teacher. She was about to retire, so when she retired, the principal then, Mrs. Sudha Rajmohan, who's been a great mentor to me, she said, Anubha, you're going to take biology also.
Okay.
I said, ma'am, there are other bio teachers in school who are more deserving. I've never taught biology. She said, no, you're going to do it.
So she saw something in you.
So I didn't ask for it. She pushed me into it, if I would place it like that. And then when there was a position of head of the department vacant in the department, again it was Sudha ma'am. She said, Anubha, you. I said, ma'am, why me? She said, no, I'm sure you can do it. And she would support me wherever I needed support. So her inputs would give me multiple dimensions. She's given me the kind of spectrum that I could never have imagined and I never aspired for. I was very happy with my class, my lab and my children. And very passionate with them. And then she gave me the school's newsletter. Then she gave me the school's website. Then she also gave me one house to mentor. Then she pulled me into the examination department also. So I'll keep on naming Mrs. Sudha Rajmohan for the spectrum of experiences that I've gained in Chinmaya Vidyalaya, along with other colleagues. Definitely you have a learning from everyone.
Absolutely. When we hear this saying that it takes a village to raise a kid, and in that village comes all the stakeholders. So ma'am, how do you bring everybody on board?
That is a challenge. That indeed is a challenge in today's date. If I compare the schooling earlier, the number of parents that would visit the school when the school would request them to join in for some event was way higher than the number of parents who are able to come today.
Okay.
So both the parents working, unit families. So a school has become a substitute of what a child would get in a family at home.
Okay, yes.
So the teachers and the school has to supplement a lot. I'll again quote my two mentors here. I just mentioned Mrs. Amita Gupta, and another my mentor, my guide, who has been a big influence on me is Professor Aatif Chaudhary from IIT Delhi.
Okay.
And he talks a lot about value system in the school sector and in the college sector as well. But majorly in the school sector because these are the foundational years.
Mm-hmm.
So we get values not just from school.
From home.
We get values from home. And home, who's there at home today?
Aya. Today I see it's only Aya and the caretakers, majorly.
So the onus is to educate or make aware or sensitize each and every person in the society, because today we do not have that paraphernalia of mummy, papa, dada, dadi, nana, nani, chacha, mama, everyone around a child to give them all kind of experiences and enrich them with the circle.
वो नहीं है अब.
That is not there. So we have to keep on continuing our constant dialogue with anyone and everyone in the society to be able to create ripples of the educational and compassion thoughts and thoughts of values in all the individuals.
What makes a good teacher great?
Being able to connect with the children.
Okay, and how can one do that?
The teacher should be able to understand the individual needs of the children. In technical terms, we say that there are multiple types of learning. We say that there are multiple intelligence levels in children. So some are visual learners, some learn by sound, some learn by writing, and so on and so forth. That is why the concept of only pen and paper learning is being done away with, and various ways of assessments are being looked into. In a class of 30, we have a small student-teacher ratio. Our class strength in senior section never exceeds 35, and in juniors never exceeds 25. So the teacher gets that flexibility to have more one-to-one interaction with the children. You need to know your children. You need to know their likes and dislikes. When you enter the class, you have to be happy. The children should feel that you are happy entering the class. And the children should feel that they are being heard by the teacher, even if that means that you're going slow with the syllabus. And I have told it to all my teachers that syllabus is not my priority. There might be 10 chapters, but the learning outcomes will only be 3 or 4.
True.
So stick to the learning outcomes. Do not stick to the curriculum, but please ensure that your class is moving together and the class is happy and is interested and inclined to learning.
And in your school, you make sure that arts are not ignored.
The first thing that I implemented when I walked into the school and I joined the school was that make the co-curricular spectrum very, very vibrant. So my instrumental teacher is a sound engineer.
Okay.
My vocal teacher, she's a prolific vocalist. And I've ensured that every day children get one hour dedicated period where they're doing co-curricular and sports activities every day without fail.
So ma'am, knowing your philosophy about arts and these subjects which are ignored and underrated, I also believe more than making us human, these skills that we learn in arts and extracurricular activities, they also tell us how to deal with success and failure.
To a large extent, I believe everything teaches you how to deal with success and failure, and sports is the forerunner in this area. But when I talk of these artistic activities, most of the artistic activities are meditative. They give you a lot of time to introspect, sit with yourself, stay calm, be in the moment and not be agitated. So even if you are not doing actual meditation in the sense of meditation, if you are practicing any art form, be it any art form, you are meditating. You are closer to, it's therapeutic, you are closer to the Almighty. I'll be very happy if I can give anything to the society. I am in the school system because I want to do something for the society. And the doors of Delhi International School Edge, Happiness, are open for all.
I'm going to
Walk in for the experience.
I'm going to take this term with me, this happy nest. I can see the birds flying. So when the children graduate from the school, they're actually moving out of their happy nest into the world, right?
Yeah, so when I talk about the school, my school has a lot of first in Dwarka that I can talk of. We have the first space lab in Dwarka. We have the only heated swimming pool in and around, so we give round the year swimming. We have all those new things that are required. We have a robotics lab, artificial intelligence, AR, VR, all those things we have been able to procure and give it to the children in the curriculum. But for me, from within, what is most important is giving them that holistic spectrum and giving them a happiness.
Happiness is going to be, I'm going to take this word and this feeling with me when I move out. I can feel it. मैं तो यहाँ की student भी नहीं हूँ, but I can already feel that I'm part of this experience.
Thank you, Anushree. I'm glad. I'm really glad.
So with that, audience, we come to a very exciting end to our interesting conversation with ma'am. I have learned a lot, and I'm sure you also will be taking away some inspiring learnings from this conversation. Thank you for sticking with us to the end. If you like our content, please do share and subscribe. Thank you.